Welcome in, everyone. I'm Dr. Jankovic, and this is Paperhats Season 4. As you can see behind me, there is plenty of construction going on. People are building just about anything you can think of, and that usually happens at the beginning of a season. But you know what? We can't waste any time. We kind of left a mess at the entrance of the spawn portal last episode, so let's go ahead and fix that. I wanted to take this short time to acknowledge something. This video is out a little bit later than I hoped. There's actually a great reason for that, but there's not a good reason why I didn't warn you guys. I do apologize for that one. But I was actually hanging out with a fellow paper hat this past weekend. That's right, I actually drove over to where the real Mr. Gold lives, and I was able to hang out with him and his family for the entire weekend. So I had full intentions to have the video ready and scheduled for when I was gone. But with how busy work was last week, and then I've had to pack and get ready for 14 hours of driving this weekend, it just didn't happen. So I hope you can understand, but I can say that this trip was absolutely worth it. I had such a blast. And I really have to give credit where credit's due. Him and his family are just great hosts. They made me feel so welcome. And in fact, one of his daughters drew me this poster here on screen so I could see it when I walked into their house, which was just so awesome and heartwarming because never in my life have I walked in and had somebody make me a poster welcoming me into their home. I can't thank her enough for drawing this, and I actually took it home and hung it on my wall, so I'll always have it there. Anyways, I've rambled on far too long enough. Go subscribe to Mr. Gold, comment on his latest videos. You'll find a link down in the description, and let's get back to the video. Oh yes, I love how these stairs turned out. They turned out exactly as I hoped. I was trying to avoid putting any more pink in this build because honestly, spawn is just so pink already. I mean, my goodness. It looks nice, but I think there is such a thing as too much pink, so I went with a more neutral path here with packed mud and deep slate, and I really think it just tied the area together really, really nicely. But I can tell you one thing for sure, I have been grinding away at all of the basics that you do at the beginning of a world. I have been resource gathering, I've been enchanting. Let me give you a little bit of a recap. And since it's on the way to my base, I have to give this little bitty shop here a very special mention. It's a shop made by Dan the Noodle Man, and he is selling mending books. He's almost sold out because as you can imagine, mending books are very, very popular at the beginning of a world here. But I was able to buy 5 or 6 of them myself, so most of my equipment now is actually mending. So I don't have to worry about using my pickaxes and things. I can use them as much as I want because we do have an XP grinder. And I did promise you guys a recap of what I've been doing off camera. So, of course, I've got the Silk Touch pickaxe. I've got the Fortune 3 pickaxe. We've got a very decent sword. Efficiency 4 axe. I'm not sure how much of this we had in the last episode. I've got Fire Protection 4 boots, which is very, very handy because we're going to have to go to the Nether pretty soon. We have protection, some sort of protection on all of our other pieces of armor. And you know what? We're waiting for the end on this world. So I don't think we're going to have Elytra for another 3 weeks. It's going to be so hard on me because I love my Elytra and I love the end dimension. But you know what? Slowing down the early game, I'm all for it. In addition to that, though, we have quite a bit of iron. 4 stacks here. We've got almost 4. Actually, that's more like 3. Yeah, that's exactly 3 stacks of gold. We have a decent bit of copper, which we do need to oxidize. I've got my little copper field over there. Apparently, I'm having a staring contest with Glitch. So now that you know what I've been up to in between episodes here, you may be wondering, Dr. J, what are you doing this episode? And you know what? We're going to have very, very fun adventures, because we're actually gonna go start preparing my main base area. We're not gonna build anything just yet, but we have to prepare. Trust me, we have to prepare. Just remember that word. I'll show you what I made in just a second. Well, it's almost time for the big reveal of my future base area, but first we have to make a portal there. And for the moment of truth, Well, this is the correct biome. Let's see if it's the right place. This is absolutely the correct place. This entire island is mine, and this is where my base is going to go very, very soon in the future. However, you may notice just a couple of things with this plan here. This is just a random portal that got generated from making one in the Nether. Secondly, there's absolutely nothing here yet. Third of all, if we're going to use the entire island, there's a whole bunch of trees. So you'd be right. You'd be right on every one of those points. And what we're going to be doing today is clearing every single one of these trees. Now, we have a portal set up back to spawn, so we have very, very quick travel back and forth. I think what I'm going to do is go spend some time at the zombie farm or something and make about 3 more of these diamond axes so we can just go ahead and get rid of all the trees in one go and not worry about having to repair anything. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. It was a really, really fun one to make. I think those make the best time lapses when you're clearing out something or flattening some land or something, and you can just see a whole lot of progress in a really short amount of time. There is one thing about this. It gets really, really dark because I didn't bother to place down any torches whatsoever. Part of that is due to I didn't actually go and gather coal beforehand. I mean, that was kind of efficient because now we have a ton of wood, and what I did was smelt it up into charcoal, and now we have a double chest of torches. I think we're only going to use a fraction of these, but you know, honestly, you can't have too many torches in my opinion. So that's what I'm going to do. It's way too dangerous out here. I'm going to take a moment and spawn-proof the entire island with all these torches. And also, I might add that clearing out those trees did not take as long as I thought. It only took about an hour and a half or so, and I only used one full Unbreaking 3 diamond pickaxe and a little bit of another one. So we have a couple of repaired extras. I won't have to go repair my tools for a while. The way I'm going to make sure everything is spawn-proofed is I'm using a mod called Mini HUD, and you can set up a hotkey where you can toggle where it renders where everything can spawn, all these X's here. We have a lot to cover, but it won't be too bad since they changed the torches to where you can have a light level of 1 and it prevents spawning, so torches go a much longer way these days. And see, I told you it was dangerous out here. We need to get a move on. I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is it is much safer out here. It didn't take as long as I thought, but we have the entire island spawn-proofed as far as I know. The bad news is I have 1 piece of steak left. Now, here's the thing. We have 2 options, basically. We can either go with a cow crusher or we can go with an automatic chicken farm. Now, I'm leaning on the side of the automatic chicken farm because while steak is better food in general, I do have to keep up with a wheat farm and breed them manually and things like that. If I have an automatic chicken farm, chickens lay eggs. We can dispense the eggs into a chamber, and when they grow up, they automatically get cooked. So I think given that this island is just going to be the most grindy project of all time, I think we ought to go with the chicken farm just because as we're working, we're making food, so it's going to make it super, super simple. The only thing we need is a few redstone supplies from spawn. I am back from spawn with everything I need. I've got a ton of redstone, some iron for hoppers if I need it. I don't think I need pistons, some extra wood, and quartz for comparators. The only thing I'm lacking is a bucket of lava. I meant to grab one at spawn, but I think there's one here on this island. Yep, down here in this little weird cave. There we go. as you can see, that farm was a piece of cake. I did have to make one small modification, however. In the time lapse, I did put a source of lava at this block here. However, when it was killing the chickens as designed, you know, normally you sacrifice the chance of the item being lost because it automatically cooks the chicken. However, I AFK'd for a while and it was just giving me raw chicken, which doesn't make much sense. And also I was losing items. So I took out the lava source block and just put a full block there to suffocate them. And now I just get all the raw chicken, and it's not that hard to smelt them up. I've got a little bit of a super smelter over here. And as you can see, we almost have 2 stacks of chicken. So we're all good on food. And honestly, everything I did this episode has taken significantly less time than I thought. So this video is turning out to be a little bit shorter than normal. So what I'm going to do to make up for it, I say we go on to spawn and do a little bit of a 1-hour mining session. Because resources are kind of hard to come by early game. And plus we need to start saving up diamonds for when we want to upgrade to netherite gear. So I only have 7 diamonds now because I've been making magic spoons here. Let's go see if we can find a few more. And the phantoms are out again. I would say that mining session was an absolute success. First of all, we got 30 diamonds. I've combined them all into a stack here, but we do have 30 extra diamonds, which brings us to a total of 37. Maybe next episode we can plan on doing another mining session and see if we can't make that a whole stack. Beyond that, we got some more redstone ore. I only got about a stack and a half from this session, I think. But my plan is for the redstone ore is once we go to the end as a server, I will have redstone ore. I'm going to get my hands on a mending book, so once I find an elytra, I can go ahead and enchant that elytra with mending, and whenever I need to repair it, I can just start mining redstone ore. I won't have to make an impromptu Enderman farm because those are a little bit tedious, and we can stay in the inn for longer. Beyond that, we got some extra iron and gold, and I actually had a large store of copper in my storage system already, so I'm working on smelting all that up. I've pretty much decided I'm going to live in sort of a chest monster for now because the first build we're going to do here on this island is going to be absolutely massive, and it's also going to house our permanent storage system. So instead of waiting almost an entire season like we did in Season 3 to have a proper storage system, we're going to do that at pretty much the very beginning of our main base. So we have a nice area to store everything, nice and organized, and it's going to make building the rest of the base that much easier. Honestly, I don't have a whole lot more this episode. Like I said, everything that I wanted to do didn't take as long as I thought. So we're kind of just going to end it here at a short episode. Next episode, what we're going to be doing is working on flattening this place. We need to bring all this down to Y72. So if I turn on my cords, we are 77, and once we make it down to 72 right here. So we're gonna have to take down a lot of dirt, a lot of stone. There's just gonna be a lot of digging that's gonna happen. I'm probably gonna do a lot of this on stream, so be sure to follow me over at twitch.tv/Dr. Jankovic. And other than that, guys, thanks so much for being here. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button if you like what you see and if you want to see more. And I will see you for episode 3 of Paperhats Season 4. Thanks so much.